Chancy always says. Welcome back once again to Maniacal Music Musings. I'm your host, Jeremy, as always, and how many more times I have to say that name before people get it right? It's Maniacal Music Musings, not Maniacal Music Musifications, Amanda. Good times, bad times, we've had them all on this show. I was just actually talking to our guest about a bad time before we went live, but just like Strange Rain, we like to come and lay Samantha sideways when we arrive here. And speaking of strange things, let me introduce my co-host here. He's been dazed and confused for so long, there's always a communication breakdown on this show. Like a skyline pigeon, he says, "Babe, I'm going to leave you after the Dixie Peach Promenade." He raised his sails as he traveled up Cripple Creek, muttering to himself, "It's me that you need," as he contemplates the war and peace. Chancy motherfucking Grife.
Hi.
And yes, folks, your musers are back once again. Once again, I'm sick, but I apologize for that in advance. But your musers are back once again. We took a week or two off just because guests like to be dicks and no show. But we are back with a guest that actually wanted to show up, and we appreciate him for it. Our guest this week is, I didn't know how to pronounce this before the show, but Andrew Cloninger. If I just mispronounced your last name, I apologize 100%. But musician, author, and producer. He's a man of many things, but we'll hear about that in a second. How you doing tonight, Andrew?
Doing pretty good. Thanks, guys, for having me on. This is going to be fun. Looking forward to it.
Well, we try, sir. We tried to have fun. So, before we get started, though, Andrew, what got you into music?
Oh, that's a long... Well, I kind of was born into it. I come from a musical family, so yeah, my grandmother played piano. My dad plays guitar. All my siblings play at least one instrument. So yeah, come by it very naturally.
Nice.
I picked up a guitar like I got pretty serious about it like 15, 16, and then joined my first band and kind of went from there. So it's kind of fun. Songwriting, and then I got into I played in a jazz band, and then I was in a couple, I was in like a couple rock bands and like kind of Wilco style Americana music, and then now I'm playing instrumental music, kind of post rock kind of stuff. So it's fun.
Nice. That's what's up. Well, and you're in a band now, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes. Yeah. My current band is called Wren Cove, and we're in the studio right now. We're making our second record, but our first full length. So we're like knee deep in it right now. So it's it's kind of fun, but nerve wracking at the same time for sure.
Yeah, I actually listened to the one song you got on Spotify, and
Yeah,
I was impressed. Oh. It kind of gave me some credence to your pick that you picked tonight. But we'll get into that in a minute, because what album did you want to bring tonight, and why did you want to bring it?
Well, so the album I brought is Skip Spence which is a very unique record and has a very kind of an interesting story behind it too. He's one of the original singer. Well, actually, he's the original drummer for Jefferson Airplane.
Yep.
And then he also was one of three songwriters for the band Moby Grape, which was a contemporary of Buffalo Springfield. And they're just the ones that didn't get famous, I guess is the way. They were like they were like Columbia Records version of Buffalo Springfield, very similar musical style and that kind of thing. But so what happened was they were making, I can't remember if it was their second record or it was either I think it was their second record they were making it. And Skip Spence dropped a little too much acid and thought that the record producer was the devil and chased him with a fireman's axe and tried to kill him. And they got him committed to Bellevue because they were in New York at the time. And so he spent 6 months in Bellevue. He wrote these songs while he was in Bellevue. He gets out 6 months later, and he shows up at Columbia Records in his Bellevue uniform, like his, whatever they had that they let him wear in there. They give him a bunch of money, and he buys a motorcycle, drives down to Nashville, cuts these songs, and they're the last songs that he's ever recorded. And then he died in 99. He was like 52. So yeah, very, very interesting. Very interesting. So the producer, his name was David Rubinson, who had a very interesting producing career. He produced everybody from Peter, Paul and Mary to Herbie Hancock to and then he also produced the Apocalypse Now soundtrack, which is a very interesting soundtrack for sure. So very eclectic, but he wouldn't be in the same room with Skip Spence because he was afraid he was going to chase him again with a fireman's axe. So they sent him down to Nashville. And then when he was in Nashville, they hooked, I can't remember what studio it was, but they hooked him up with this guy. His name was Mike I'm going to mess it up. It's like Frigillo or Figilo or something like that. I'm not sure, but he was the engineer in the studio in Nashville, and basically Rubinson said, record whatever he's got, just record it. Don't mess with it. Don't tell him anything. Just record it. And so Skip Spence played the drums, the guitar, bass, did the vocals, did everything on it. So it's a very, very unique, very interesting record, and it's actually kind of a weird one because it's like a prototype for a lot of like contemporary records. People like Beck is one that comes to mind. Also, Bon Iver is another guy that comes to mind that has a similar sound and vibe, especially Bon Iver's first record. It has a very similar vibe to it. Also, like you can think of guys like Pedro the Lion, that kind of stuff, where everybody plays the one guy plays everything and writes the songs, all that stuff. So very, very unique, very interesting. But I actually came through it because I was in college in 99. I don't know if that dates me too much, but I was in college and I was on college.
I was in 6th grade. Just saying, I was in 6th grade.
Yeah. So yeah, good times. So I was, I was doing, I was a DJ, did some like programming and stuff. And there was a tribute record that came across, and it actually had like Robert Plant on it, and like Mark Lanigan from Screaming Trees was on it. Tom Waits also was on it, who actually did one of the songs that I really like called Book of Moses, which is an interesting song. And also Jay Farrar and Robin Hitchcock was also on that record. So very interesting. So that's actually how I got introduced to the record. And then I did the whole, like, I'm going to go to the record shop and find the real record, but they just reissued. You can't really find the original LP. It's actually pretty rare. It's hard to find. It's actually, they consider it the worst selling record that Columbia ever released. I don't know if that's true or not, but I wouldn't doubt it. but
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, it's hard to say, but yeah, so I couldn't find it, but they had just reissued it because he had died that year, 1999. So Skip Spence died in 99, so that's where the tribute record came from and the whole thing. And so I did the whole backtracking, figuring it out, and then I listened to the originals and all that kind of stuff. So it's very interesting, very cool.
All right. Well, before I give my review, I'm gonna unleash my cannon here, so to speak, and let Chancy go first.
Okay. So these things may or may not be true. I was researching the show last night, listening to this thing like I do every time I'm playing video games, something to just mindlessly do while I take in the music. And I don't even remember which song specifically it was, but I'm literally listening to the song. I stopped playing the game. My girlfriend goes, "What's going on?" And I go, "I can literally hear the heroin coursing through his veins."
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Like fucking 5 minutes later, I'm like, dude, I now understand why we were in Vietnam for so long. This fucking album makes me want to start a war in a Southeast Asian country. I don't fucking know. And
I don't know about that.
shit.
Because what's interesting too is like I compare it to like this. I don't know if you guys ever heard the Sid Barnett or Barrett.
I was gonna say Barnett.
Yeah, Barrett.
Yeah.
Records, and they're very similar. And I'm wondering.
Oh yeah.
If it's the acid.
Probably. I mean, I got jokes, but
yeah.
yeah, I was just like, I was listening to it, and at some point in time, I was like, you know what? It's still better than Cottonmouth Kings. And see, yeah, and
your joke's gonna get you choked, motherfucker. But go on.
But no, I mean, like all in all, after I like kind of looked a little bit into it, I was like, okay, psychedelic rock, gotcha. Yeah. I'm on the wagon. I'm with it. Okay. And then like I didn't like listen to it all again, but like there was a couple songs I listened to over again. It's like, okay. And then I could pick up where you're talking about like Beck influences and when you said Bon Iver, I always thought it was Bon Iver. That's just because I'm, uneducated. Yeah. I'm just like, I was like, is he talking about Bon Iver?
Yeah.
Oh, we know you're you're uneducated the way you talk about Cottonmouth Kings, you swine.
Yeah.
What's hot about that? I don't know.
But
he's still salty about the episode that me and the guest spent the majority of the episode just ragging on him the whole time.
Hey, when you deal with uncultured swine all the time, what can I say? But
how dare you speak of Michael in that fashion?
Michael is a good man, but his taste in music and movies can be dispersed sometimes in weird ways. But I mean, I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I listened to this album for a hot second when I was trying to pick my album to match it with, and I'm like, I didn't really even grasp it at that point because I listened to like one or two tracks, but when I listened to this album today, it literally was the last album out of these three I listened to because I knew the other two to some degree at least. So I'm like, all right, let's check out this new thing last because I want to have it freshest in my memory. Oh, Lord Jesus, why did I make that mistake? And I mean, it's just, I'm not going to lie. I got 5 out of it. I definitely got a top 5 out of it, but there's just,
it's tough.
Half these songs, it seemed like they went on for fucking 20 minutes, and the other half, I didn't know they were changing songs.
Oh yeah.
Like, so it's like, Jesus, like, oh my God,
that's part of the trip, man.
I mean, yeah, maybe I wasn't on enough drugs to fucking go along with this album perfectly, but
you were on the right ones.
Right.
Apparently, story of my life, man, story of my fucking life. But I don't fucking know because I mean, this album, like, I'm like, is this why people went to Vietnam just to get away from this music?
I don't know. because if you think about it, like, you know, he's definitely of the era. You know, because you think about like Strawberry Alarm Clock, you think of
I'm
like,
trying.
you
Okay. Well, you're naming all these people. You're naming all these people and bands I never fucking heard of. But
Grateful Dead,
okay.
man.
Oh, shout out to Aaron on that one. We said 2 Grateful Dead songs in our last part of the Rolling Stone Top 500 bracket. But
Hey,
Ripple, and actually, ironically enough, Boxer Rain instead
yep.
of the other kind of rain. That's on this album. But I mean, I don't know. This band reminds me of like Bob Dylan-ish wannabes, basically. Like
Mm.
that's what it reminds me of. It's like the same genre as Bob Dylan. And don't get me wrong, I can't stand most Bob Dylan music either.
I
It's
fucking
just too.
called that shit too. I was sitting here listening. I was like, Jeremy's gonna bring up Bob fucking Dylan.
Yeah, it's.
I mean,
I
well,
actually,
because
I actually respectfully disagree. I don't think it sounds anything like Bob Dylan at all.
Well, okay.
So
Let me confirm that by saying what I was going to say before I was interrupted by Chancy. I am not a fan of Bob Dylan in any fucking means. I like a couple of his songs that are the famous ones, but other than that, like I am not a fan of Bob Dylan in any fucking means. It's hippie music. It's hippie music to me, and I can't fucking stand it. But so I mean, if I want that era of music, I'm gonna talk about one of the other 2 Cs that we were talking about tonight, or I'm gonna talk about. I mean, I'll even bring in fucking like Sabbath and shit, like in that era. But
Yeah.
Jesus, like Sabbath was around '69, weren't they, Chancy?
yeah, ish 70.
Yeah.
Okay, I felt like it. They were, but
It was the first record.
I mean,
71, maybe.
Yeah, 71 or
Uh,
72, something like that.
I mean, the era these all our albums are in are like actually 2 of our albums are the first albums that the ours are released, which is kind of funny in a way. But so I mean, I don't know the fuck's his name even? I don't know what his fucking name is. But was, I mean, not a bad. It wasn't a bad album. It wasn't horrible. It was. I mean, trust me, we've had worse. We've had worse. But
Shit, we've both brought worse.
Fast Nectar, yes.
The thing
But
too.
I was
is,
gonna
like,
say Offspring, but that's cool.
ooh.
No, that
new
one
one,
song.
dude, the newest album is trash.
Oh, really? I haven't even heard.
Oh,
it.
it's so bad. It's so bad.
Chancy, the one song and the same song in the other language on that album are both enough to make them be better than the CD. Just saying.
Whoa.
I definitely got to disagree with that, but that's
I would
okay
disagree
though.
with that. Yeah.
Hey, We Never Have Sex Anymore is an amazing song.
I did notice Jeremy does have a point on one song. There's one song where in that he does that Dylan draw.
Yeah.
I did notice that,
There's
but
one.
I didn't think it was like a prominent type of the thing, and honestly it was kind of interesting because like it wasn't what I expected when you listen to stuff like, because like, for me, when I think of like psychedelic music, obviously we go back, we got Jefferson Airplane,
Oh yeah.
and then like, Iron Butterfly, all those like iconic, trippy shit.
Yeah.
And this was like,
dude, I'd rather listen to the 20-minute outtake of the cast of Simpsons singing Iron Butterfly and Inagata Vita than listen to this album again.
Whoa.
Shit.
Man, that's harsh, dude.
I know, right? God damn.
Man.
I was
a day of work or something. Wow.
It's something. I was thinking it's like an acoustic acid trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like taking Nirvana MTV Unplugged, like and fucking listening to that shit on repeat. But
what the fuck?
I can't say that shit.
I don't hear that at all.
Well,
man, you're going hard in the paint, dude. Wow. Shit.
Well, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, Chancy, so it's a good time to go hard.
Up.
But in your defense of your album, Andrew, I will say I am a huge Simpsons fan, so that's not that big an insult. But okay, so but I mean, I don't know. But let's move on to the top 5s, then we can actually say what we liked and didn't like about certain songs instead of just holding it back here.
Sure.
But Andrew, your album. What were your top 5 and any other honorable mentions you wanted to bring?
So the top 5, I would say the the top song I would say is "I'll Come to Meet Her," and "Little Hands." I think that track it's pretty standout.
I'm laughing because I think I know why Chancy's laughing at that one, but
Little Hands.
there's a story behind it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then "Book of Moses" I think is a great song. On the tribute record, Tom Waits does it, which is a pretty cool version of it, which is pretty awesome.
That'd probably be pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. And then Diana is a good one. War and Peace is another good one. So
Yeah.
there's a couple of some of the tracks though are like, ooh, buddy, you are insane. Like it's very obvious that there's some mental issues going on. There's one called Gray Afro that I'm like, oh boy, somebody was like, oh boy, somebody was off their meds today. No more Thorazine for you, buddy. Or whatever they were shooting them up back then. I don't know what the trank drugs were back then, but it was like, man. But that's the thing with a lot of those guys, like, and I don't know if you guys ever met a few people, but there's sometimes like the really great songwriters or even like musicians, even they borderline on mental illness. They really do. And it's like, sometimes they can't even function in the real world. Like I'm a pretty good musician. I am not a genius, because I'm not mentally ill,
Well, I mean,
super, but I mean, like, there's like a super fine line of like
Genius and
really,
insanity.
Oh yeah. It's so
I mean,
close. So
close.
close.
Two of my favorite artists run around with clown paint in their face all the time, so I guess I kind of understand that.
Oh.
The realization washes over. Oh, now you understand. Now you understand why I need a support group.
Yes. Sorry, bud. What is it? Insane Clown Posse or Slipknot? One of the two.
I love both, but I mean, I was talking specifically about ICP, but I do love both, and I guess there is a clown in Slipknot too. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, Iowans are usually clowns, right, Chancy?
I'm sorry, what?
I said Iowans are usually clowns, right, Chancy?
No, only the properly trained ones.
Ooh. See, clowns terrify me, so I stay away from all clowns.
Ooh.
Oh, Chancy's from Iowa, and he's also circus folk, so he likes clowns.
Okay. Hey, to each his own. I'm an upstate New York,
cool.
So we stay away from them.
But better than being Carney.
You know what?
Better than being a Carney.
That's right.
Being in upstate New York, fucking, I'd probably stay away from clowns too. I don't know.
There's a lot of clowns.
Oh, dude! Wait a minute! Wait! Upstate New York? What?
Yep.
Where? I'm kind of. If you want to say on live,
Rochester area.
Originally from Kingston.
Oh, okay. Yep. Hudson.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not too far.
Oh, okay. I know Hudson. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be that Hudson Valley, right? So
my brother used to go to college in Albany, so I used to.
Oh, yep.
Or no, his friends did. He went to college in Buffalo, but his friends went to college in Albany, so I used to go up there on some weekends for keg and eggs and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, so that would be like, that's like a couple hours away.
Yeah. I mean, Rochester's closer to Buffalo than it is Albany.
Yeah. Like I'm an hour and a half away from Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah. My brother dated a girl in Rochester for sure in college, so I had to drive my way up to Rochester, like from Kingston.
Oh yeah.
I've been through most of New York, but
that's cool, man. Yeah, it's a good area.
Well, yeah, it's
pretty quiet.
I kind of miss it. I kind of don't, but
cool.
So was that your top 5, or I lost count?
Yep. I got them all in.
Got distracted by everything else. But speaking of getting them all in, Chancy, what were your top 5?
So my number 5 was actually Keep Everything Under Your Hat.
Oh,
because I liked how they kept him fucking up.
Yeah.
On the track. I was like, all right, that's fucking cool. I was like, that's legit. I like that. And then my number 4 was gray / afro.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, what? This is going on the
What
list.
does that even mean?
I know. I was like, I don't fucking get this, but whatever, dude. My number 3 was It's the Best Thing for You.
Oh,
Number 2 was Lawrence of Euphoria.
that's not bad either. That's a good track.
And then number 1 for me was Cripple Creek.
Yeah, it's a great song too.
Okay, I am happy as fucking shit because most of my top 5 weren't mentioned. So I think Chancy mentioned one and you mentioned one, Andrew. But
yeah,
and my number 5 is one you mentioned, Andrew. My number 5 is All Come to Meet Her because that was like that reminded me more of like a Beatles track almost. So like
yeah, it was very Beatles-esque.
I dug that.
Yeah.
Number 4 was War and Peace because I like the ironicness of that.
Yeah.
And it was the guitar in that actually was horrible.
I think that's 2
Number
of them
3
that he mentioned so far.
Okay, I didn't know if I didn't hear him say War and Peace.
So the majority of yours, because if he has 2 and I had 1, that's the majority of your picks. But that's okay.
Chancy,
We'll continue.
Chancy, I'm gonna go tell
I
someone.
was excited. I was excited to hear about this new shit, and you're coming up with why are you talking about old shit?
I'm gonna tell someone. I'm gonna get someone a little fist, Chancy, to come visit you. I swear to God.
Okay.
And they're made of stone. They're made of stone. They're made of stone. They are. But
it's all
number 3 was Margaret Tiger Rug because of the opening instrumentals. Yeah. I really like the opening instrumental on that song. But
it's good.
Number 2 was Chancy's Cripple Creek.
Yeah.
Because Cripple Creek, I'm not gonna lie, Cripple Creek made me laugh my ass off just the name. But it was actually a really good song though. And number 1 was Dixie Peach Promenade, Yin for Yang. Because of the lyrics, that one line, I'll stay by your side, you stay underneath me all night. I fucking love that lyric. That made me laugh my ass off every time they said it. So,
that was your sell point. Naturally.
It was.
Fucking, of course it was.
Jeez.
Hey, that's a good line. What can I say? It's a good line. So, I mean, especially for the 60s, that's like, to me, that's equivalent to the Beatles. I just want to hold your hand. Like, fuck. Like, it's the same as that. Like, it's a little more risque than that, but still kind of the same sentiment. Yeah. Like, we're going to say this nicely so your parents don't kill us. But we're going to say it still.
Yeah. Well, it's like the difference between 1964 and 1969. Basically, is the difference.
Lots of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. 69, man. That's when Manson ran loose. But
that's right.
Yep. When the CIA hired him to run loose.
Oh,
right, Chancy?
Okay, now we're getting into conspiracy theories.
Now we're in, dude. I wish I could remember the name of the group that Manson was a part of, because not only does he have an alleged spider web with the CIA, he also has an alleged spider web with the alleged group behind the Sons of Sam.
Really?
Yeah. Now that's what's cool.
Well, and it relates to music too, because he was
the
like,
Beach Boys. I remember that with Manson, and Manson, he wasn't terrible. He wasn't fucking bad.
He wasn't.
He wasn't good. He wasn't like stopped. He wasn't standstill.
Like I would put him like 3 steps below this record.
Which I would agree to that to a certain extent. Like I really think he had the potential.
Yeah, like if he was like produced.
Yeah, but he was unproducible, so.
Yeah. Well, and that was the problem with him. Like he was so inconsistent because of whatever. It was like, the only tapes we have are the real he did in prison. So that's kind of, it's gonna be what it is. Out of tune guitar, and it wasn't like he was playing something nice.
Right.
So, it would be fascinating though if he was actually in a studio, like a Sunset Strip, a Sunset Sound or someplace like that, with a real guitar
and willing to listen to a producer.
Yeah, which
I mean that goes a long way.
Yeah, yeah. Brian, it would be interesting to have Brian Wilson like produce him. That would have been.
Well, no, he sat him down with a guy at Brian's, And the guy was like, "This dude's he wouldn't listen to anything the guy recommended. He's like, this guy's fucking useless. I don't know what to tell you. Like, he's got some stuff, but it's like, I can't do nothing with it. Like, fucking, I got no fucking dukes, man.
What am I gonna do? Send him to prison." So yeah, that's crazy, dude. It's a crazy time because you could be anyone. I think that's the thing nowadays is like you can't be like that. That's not real anymore. You know, like
Right.
coming right off the street, like, here's my song, you know, and then 2 minutes later it's on the radio. It doesn't work like that anymore. There's so much, you know, stuff to go in between that, you know, it just doesn't work. I mean, unless you want to self-produce and like, you know, just send it to Spotify or someplace like that, you know, like there's ways to do that, but you know, it's very fascinating, you know, how people, you know, but yeah, a lot of the like, you know, another in like outsider kind of guy was that Daniel Johnston. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, but he was in the 80s and stuff like that. And, you know, he would make his own little records on cassette. They did a documentary not too long ago about him.
I was gonna say that's why I know the name.
Yeah. Devil, I think it was called Devil and Daniel Johnston or Johnson or whatever it was.
You're right. Yeah, it was.
And he was like, he kind of semi-associated with like the Sonic Youth and those kind of guys. And I think Kurt Cobain had one of his shirts. So
nice.
Little deep cut.
Very deep cut. But speaking of deeper cuts, Chancy, what album did you want to bring to Face Andrews?
In all honesty, I actually had forgotten about already having that Scavenger Hunt album done because I was just going to do that. But I noticed you guys both picked an album from the same year, so I got out. I reached in touch. I got in touch with Tom, and I was like, "Hey, I got to do this one next time. Got a thing I'm doing now." And he's like, "That's cool, man." So I went with something from '69, and I had a couple choices to pick from. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to go with a solid, everybody's favorite. Everybody knows it. Fucking Led Zeppelin. Yeah. Just solid. I mean,
that's clean, man.
It's a safe putt, man. It's a safe putt.
You can't miss. You can't miss with that one.
Well, that's one thing I will say is there was a lot of freaking albums '69 to choose from. There really was.
There was.
And actually, I found out today that Andrew's album actually didn't come out in '69. It came out on December 31st, 1968. So it came a day too soon. Just like the poor man as wedding. But yeah. Andrew.
I love Led Zeppelin because like, and that first record is so fascinating to me because the way that they capture the drums on that is just unbelievable. Like you think about it, like, you know, Glenn Johns does such a great job capturing Bonham. Like it's just, you know, just you can hear the hi-hat and the you know, and it's like it's all coming together and like, you know, I love one of the really interesting little tidbits about that record too is that Jimmy Page self-financed it. So they didn't even have a deal. So because Jimmy Page was still doing the Yardbirds and then like everybody so like there was no band. And so then he recruited everybody. And so they finished that Yardbirds tour. And then they're like, let's make a record. And like they didn't have a deal because it wasn't the Yardbirds anymore. So they self-financed it. It was him and Peter Grant, their manager, who was like a gangster, like a legit, like a little bit scary dude, which is pretty awesome. That's you know, but anyway, you have to have a manager that's a little bit of a gangster. You know, it's always good to have a shark with you. But anyway, yeah. So I always thought that record was very fast because that's how Jimmy Page was able to produce all the rest of the records because it was like proof is in the pudding. Look at what I made, you know, and almost fine it, you know, like he bet on himself. Like he's like one of the first guys to like bet on himself, which is kind of cool, it's one of those things that people don't really talk about that much, of how great of a producer Jimmy Page was or is. I don't know. I haven't really heard anything lately that he's produced, but I mean, those Led Zeppelin records, they hold up. They're unparalleled. Like, and you could say whatever you want. Oh, this one's a little bit, yeah, okay. It's kind of like you go Hobbit rock, you go like, there's so much different things going on with those records that, like, it's unparalleled. And very fascinating thing too is that he recorded all the guitars, like all the guitars are Telecasters. So he has one Telecaster, and then live he was playing he's kind of known for playing Les Pauls, the Gibson Les Paul, which is fascinating. But in the studio, he would use a Fender Telecaster or a Dan Electro electric guitar, which is fascinating because they're totally different kind of guitars. Like, one's a humbucker, one's a single coil. They have different, but he was able to cobble together that sound, and it's just, and John Paul Jones he's like the Swiss Army knife of everything. Oh, you need me to play bass? Okay. You need me to play organ? All right. I'll play the best organ part. I'll play the best bass part. I can play, mandolin. You need a mandolin? I got a mandolin. Like, he's just that dude is like, I think, in my opinion, he's the secret weapon. John Paul Jones. I mean, he can do anything, and he probably played guitar on it too. Who knows? Like, he's not credited, but who knows? Like, when you're in the studio, like, sometimes things get done that, sometimes people take credit, sometimes people don't, so it's kind of fascinating. But yeah, I mean, and we didn't even get to Robert Plant yet. I mean, it's like, Hammer of the Gods, that dude, he's got pipes for days. And I love, Communication Breakdown. I mean, who doesn't like Communication Breakdown? If you don't, there's something wrong with you. Or some of the other ones on there too. They're just fascinating, very awesome songs. So I had a hard time actually. I actually had a hard time picking, like,
really.
Yeah, like, I love that record. That's a fun record, man. I really had a hard time picking, like, oh, this is my favorite song on this record, or or whatever. But yeah, that's cool, And the other fascinating part that I found in that record, the whole thing, was Glenn Johns, the engineer, and Jimmy Page. They were like, they knew each other from elementary school. So it's like, how do you do that? Like, how does that? It's just crazy that the world is so small. Well, I guess they're on an island.
Right. I was gonna say. I mean, they're kind of locked in.
I mean, the world was a lot smaller back then, but
yeah, kind of. Well, I don't know. It's pretty small now. I mean,
I was gonna say, I think it was a lot bigger then.
Yeah, I would think so. Because of the technology nowadays, I could talk to someone in Iceland.
In that way, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like there was less people back then, so you knew more people.
Well, yeah, there was less people back then, but that doesn't.
The communication.
I know, but technology-wise, you don't really know anybody if you just know them through technology. I mean, I don't know. And what's going on, Harley? Thank you for watching. But as far as Led Zeppelin goes, I mean, it's Led Zeppelin. I can't complain about shit. It's fucking Led Zeppelin. Yeah. It's definitely not Led Zeppelin 4, but it's Led Zeppelin. I mean, I can't say I love every song on this album, but I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy them all, at least somewhat. So, I mean, not much more to say.
Like, like, the one's gonna be your favorite, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, but if you go through it all the way through one setting, you're gonna come out of it like, oh yeah, that was good. You know what I mean? Like,
I did. Trust me, I always give them one sitting, but
oh yeah, it's like,
and I mean, wrong. I don't know. I got a top 5 out of it, but there was an honorable mention because I liked 5 out of, what was there, 9?
Yeah, I think
9. So 5. I like 5 out of 9. So yeah, I mean, it's just a couple of the other ones were okay, but I'm just like, I ain't writing that down. Hello, my Harley Quinn. I'm sorry I didn't give you the right name, but yes, I am her Joker. You know I like the Joker. But what were your top 5 for your own album, Chancy?
So I had
I,
one honorable mention,
oh, how dare they?
and that was actually Communication Breakdown.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Reason being is because that's like the song off that album.
Yeah.
So for me, I couldn't, in all good conscience, put it on my top 5 because then it's got to be number 1. It's a whole thing.
Oh, it's so full.
But
Well, that's what she said, but yeah.
Hey now.
my number 5 was Black Mountain Side.
That's a great song.
And number 4 was How Many More Times.
Yeah.
Number 3 was Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. Number 2 was You Shook Me. And number 1 is fucking I Can't Quit You, Baby.
You know, what's fascinating about those 2 last songs that you mentioned too is that they were written by Willie Dixon.
Yep.
And it's like he actually had to sue them later.
To
even get his royalties. That's fascinating. And also
that's why they're my top 2, because I wanted to give him his flowers because it's fucking so good.
Oh yeah. And Baby I'm Gonna Leave You, which is a great song, like super awesome. That's also I forget who the songwriter is, but it's a different songwriter than Page and Plant. I can't remember. It's left me. Sorry.
That's all right.
Well, but yeah, those other ones though, they're powerhouse songs, and like the way they play them is just unbelievable. You know, the arrangements are great.
Well, Andrew, what were your top 5 for Led Zeppelin?
Well, you know, I can't. It's hard, man. Like, see, you basically said all the ones that I liked, but like, yeah, it's crazy. And then Communication Breakdown was like my first one, of course. So it's like, come on.
I called your whole poker hand just right on the table.
You just like slapped him down and said, read them.
Bitch.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
I don't think that's ever happened before.
Dude, that is crazy.
I really don't. I don't think that has ever happened before.
It's not
I'm pretty sure it has.
It's not right, is what I'm trying to say.
Where one of us has picked all the songs that the other person had.
Boom. Yeah.
I mean, I know you've at least done 4 out of 5 for me, Chancy. I know you have. So.
Well, yeah, that's definitely happened.
Yeah, but he's just like home run after home run after home run. It's not fair.
Well, it's Led Zeppelin. How you gonna not get a home run every time?
Also valid.
That's What are you gonna do?
I mean, it's a fucking home run. It's a home run derby here. But
keep going. It's all good.
Well, I mean, unless there's anything else you want to say about Led Zeppelin, Andrew, before we move on.
They're just awesome. Let's just put it that way.
They're just awesome.
It's just awesome.
Awesome sauce. But all right, I totally just deleted my list by accident, but luckily I can remember it because it's Led Zeppelin. And actually, my number 5 was Good Times, Bad Times because I've heard it too much. I've heard it too much in my lifetime, and it doesn't impress me. It's like when we had the guest bring Whole Lot of Love. I mean, bring Led Zeppelin 4 on, like Whole Lot of Love. Like I can't stand that fucking song. The fucking race cars, like the race cars in that song, drive me fucking insane.
That's a guitar, man.
Yeah, that's Jesus.
I know, but it sounds like a fucking race car. That's not what I identified.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Nope. It sounds like a progression of notes sliding down a fucking guitar neck.
Yeah.
You goddamn neck bearded mouth breather. Fuck.
My neck is not bearded, motherfucker. Thank you. But
I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm.
My God.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm over here. But
I'm
shut up,
I'm having a fucking stroke.
Oh,
shut up, dogs. But most shut your mouth. But my number 4 was, I believe it was how many more times? Because it also made me think of the future ICP song 30 years later, how many times? So
because they probably stole a sample off of that one.
no, it's just a good rap song. It has nothing to do with their song at all. But
Yeah, really. Yeah, no, it really doesn't. I can confirm.
You can confer. Okay, good.
But
It's
no, my number
30 minutes since I've listened to the Fago winning dudes.
yeah, my number 3 was Communication Breakdown, because that was an amazing fucking song.
Yeah.
I actually never heard that song till this one, but I don't think I ever listened to this album. I don't think I ever listened to
You
this album.
said you haven't heard this song until listening to this for this.
I may have. If it was on the radio at some point in my life, I may have heard it. But
it's probably been in the supermarket. Like
I mean, 100% chance of that
on the
too.
school bus. It's been everywhere.
No, my school bus driver literally listened to this oldie station that like literally did like Walk Like a Man, Talk Like a Man, and like all those like
the early 60s stuff in the 50s.
early 60s and 50s, yeah.
Yeah.
But my number 2 was 100% Babe I'm Gonna Leave You, because I don't think I heard that song either. That song is amazing.
What?
But
I'm telling you, this is why I need a support group.
Apparently. Well, this is why you're doing the show, because you gotta get them out of the ICP bubble.
It's education, and I'm not an ICP bubble. I listen to a lot of different genres of music. Thank you, but and number 1 had to fucking be Dazed and Confused, because it has one of the greatest lines in it of all time. The soul of a woman was created below. I fucking love that line.
Interesting.
I fucking knew that was what you were gonna say.
Interesting.
You did know I was a bit, but yes, the soul of a woman was created below was one of the greatest lines in music ever. But I mean, yeah, it's one of the greatest fucking lines ever. I fucking love that line. And that whole song, like just the guitar in that song is like so legendary and amazing. Like every time I heard it on the radio as a kid, I used to always like yell at my dad if he changed the station and shit. So, but I mean, that's one of the Led Zeppelin songs that I've known since I was a kid. I mean, 4 has a lot more of those for damn sure, but this one, I mean, Dazed and Confused is second and only to Stairway to Heaven to me. But
interesting.
Yeah, dude. Fucking, I mean, over the hills and far away is pretty cool. I don't know.
Oh,
that's a bull. I like Nightwish's version better. Thank you.
Jesus fucking
Christ. Wow. Man.
I'm fucking drowning. I'm drowning.
I don't know what to say. Holy cow.
What can I say? But
wow, that's some hot takes coming out of there. Wow.
Yeah.
Coming out hot. Whew.
Well, speaking of hot takes, I think it's time. I think it just might be about that time to go to our last album of the night, and that would be my album, which presented with an album from '69 I never heard of. I was like, what the fuck am I going to bring? Nothing I have even comes close to matching this album, and I'm not going to try to throw some... I'm like, there's no Lordy Diversity album for this era, so I can't do that. And Chancy was like, thank the Lord for that. But he's like, I just had one of those last time. I don't need another one. But I was like, all right, let's look at '69. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I went through like 50 albums that came out in '69, like the top 50 albums according to some site. And I was like, I don't want to bring any of these. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, '69. Elton John should have been already performing. And I was like, oh, look, his first album ever came out in '69. Perfect. And I never heard it. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to bring Elton John's Empty Sky album, which, like I said, I've never heard Elton John's first album. I don't think I've ever heard any of the songs off this album even before today, because it just none of them were. We did an Elton John bracket for God fucking sake, and not one of them, not one of the songs on the CD were. I'm pretty sure were on the bracket at all, out of his top 32 or 36 songs. So that's saying something. But I was actually happy I picked this album because it showed me more where Elton came from than the person we all know he is today. Like it's not so much the upbeat, like fast, like piano rock that he is now. It was like more like his blues, jazz side almost, and more classical side as well. Like it showed me a new side of Elton, and there are so many jokes there, but I'm not gonna make any of them because yeah. But I mean, it showed me a new side of
Well, it's
Elton.
interesting. It's interesting because none of the hits are on there. Like
Exactly.
and this record didn't even come out in the United States until like 75. So that's a fascinating fact too. Is like but at least Bernie was writing the lyrics for it, so that's actually a good thing. But it's very fascinating. And one of the bassists on this record played with the Trogs. You know that song "Wild Thing."
Yeah, of course.
So that's the Trogs, and so one of the bass players actually plays on there, and actually one of the drummers too is Nigel Olsson was in the Spencer Davis group. So that's kind of an interesting fact. Who also had Spencer Davis? And Spencer Davis, didn't they also have Jack Bruce back in the day?
I don't know any of these names, dude.
Jack Bruce was the bass player for Cream. Sunshine.
I do believe. I was gonna say I do believe he did.
I mean, I think
I'm not 100% on that. I'm not 100%.
I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure he was on that in that group. Because there was a whole bunch of. It was like the John Mayhall group, where it was like everybody and their brother played in it at least once. It's like because you had like Peter Green, but you also had Eric Clapton played in John Mayhall.
Right.
And then you had Mick Fleetwood and John McVie also played in that band, and that's where they met Peter Green and made Fleetwood Mac.
Those guys didn't end up going anywhere. So I mean,
no, didn't do anything good. No Witchy Woman, nothing, no big deal.
Nothing I can remember anyway.
Nah.
So had you heard this album before, Andrew?
I have not actually. This was one that I was kind of because I think my introduction to Elton John was the Yellow Brick Road one.
Yeah.
Or They Don't Shoot the Piano Player, like that kind of that era, which is a little bit.
Oh, that's more mainstream Elton John.
Yeah. I mean, I heard
I brought Yellow Brick Road in the show before months ago, but I mean, it's definitely
that's
different album.
And I would argue that Elton John is a greatest hits artist. Like,
I don't know.
That's my opinion. I think sometimes he has like he'll have some really great ones, but like
I second that emotion.
I feel like he's the greatest hits guy. Like he doesn't really have a whole ton of it's not like he has concepts like the Who or like or even like he doesn't have like banger after banger like the Beatles do. Like
I don't think the Beatles had banger after banger even. I mean, they had one or two bangers per CD maybe, but so did Elton John.
Oh, I mean, Sgt. Pepper has like 4 or 5 songs that are like.
Okay, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, one of the best fucking albums of all time. We're not using that one here.
Rubber Soul has a lot.
No.
Revolver has a lot.
One or two.
There's at least 4 number 1 hits on each of those records. Like
because there was a lot less music in that fucking time era.
I mean, I don't know.
And
and
I feel like the Beatles and the Elvis
they were selling millions in the 60s. Like
I mean, you can't compare Beatles, and Elvis to anybody else in music because they were just like phenomenons. They were nothing else was going to stop them until people died.
I disagree with that. Because how would you know at the time? Like it's like saying the Backstreet Boys, like, you know, they were an anomaly. Well, they've been having boy bands since the beginning of time. Like,
no, they were just five. They were just five cute boys that girls loved. That was the only thing with them.
Doo-wop is the same thing. Doo-wop is the same thing.
I know it is, but
and like all that stuff. That's basically what it is. I mean, it's like, you know, you get, you know, the same thing with like, you know, Mumford and Sons. All that is you know, that's like, you know, Weavers.
Mumford and Sons is trash.
No, but it's Weavers. I mean, it's folk music. You know, it's just it's produced.
We had a good friend of ours bring that on the show, and I gave her shit for it. But you know,
they got good songs. There's some good pop songs on there, man.
No, there's not. Chancy, you know you agree with me.
I'm just sitting here and finally not having to be the only one here. Misery loves company.
I love it.
Well, Chancy, what did you think of Sir Elton John's first album?
I sure could have done without listening to it.
That's a bottom of the barrel joke right there, but yeah.
That one was just for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, Andrew said a lot of shit that I was getting ready to say, just a lot better. I should say probably just nicer. Because, I mean, I like Elton John, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, Andrew brings a very valid point to the table. Fucking kind of a greatest hits guy.
I think
part of the reason why I didn't like this album is because of the fact his writer hadn't been on the project yet. Because that's where
it's clicking.
See, I wasn't paying attention to the lyrics in this one as much. I was trying to pay more attention to his piano work because that's what he's known for, is piano work. I mean,
yeah, he plays and sings, and then there's a guy that writes. Fucking.
I mean,
funny thing. The thing about success is you got to be able to do all three.
Apparently not. And have you not watched Rocket Man yet? Like, Jesus.
Well,
that just means he's a survivor. That's all that means.
Yeah, right. There was a movie about a guy who did a whole bunch of drugs after getting famous. Fucking insert person here. They lived.
Well, I mean, that was Bohemian Rhapsody, but yeah.
Hey,
I said insert name here.
Yeah.
Insert name here.
Yeah.
Right.
All of them.
Well, you bastard, Chancy.
I'm just saying, man.
I actually had 3 honorable mentions for this album because I enjoyed listening to it the first thing this morning so much. And because there was there was more tracks on Andrew's album than this album, so it wasn't the album with the most tracks either. So, but there should have been more tracks on his album, but shit happens. And I mean, my number 8 was "Lady What's Tomorrow," just because it was a good song. Number 7 was Western Ford Gateway, and honestly, that got pushed down a lot because that was pretty high to begin with. Because that song was amazing. I mean, when he actually gets going with the fast singing and the fast tempo, like, I fucking love Elton. Number 6 was Skyline Pigeon because I like the lyrics in that song. That song was actually not bad. Number 5 though was Gulliver / It's Hey Jude, because he starts off with this slow melody and everything. And then halfway through the song, he just starts going like freaking fast jazz piano and everything else, and he's singing along with it. It's freaking amazing. And the reprise at the end where he sings all the previous songs in the album, like the chorus from them. Like, I love when artists do that. I fucking love it. So that got my number 5 right away. Number 4 is Lady Samantha, because Elton knows how to write songs about women, even though he has no interest in women. Which I don't get, but okay. He knows how to do it. I
Well,
mean, he does.
the lyricist. It's the lyricist, man. Like Bernie. Bernie
But
was it
he,
Telpin?
he wasn't on his album yet, was he?
I don't know if he was on that one or not. Let me check.
I doubt it. I mean, this was probably just Elton in the studio trying to fucking make a name for himself or something. But
Let's see. I'd be curious
but
to see.
I feel like they're best friends from before he started performing, though. I feel like they're best friends from like when like he was in high school and shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Or they
I
met
mean, at least
maybe in
that's
college.
what.
Yeah, all tracks written by Bernie Taupin and Elton John.
There you go. So,
Yeah, that was their first project together.
well, it's his first CD, so apparently they've been working together since Elton started. So,
Yeah,
because I think in Rocket Man they were friends since like high school and shit. So,
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
I know.
they were probably playing a little bit of Hide the Hot Dog in the back door like throughout high school. But
No, I don't. No, Bernie's not. That's not his vibe.
hey, everybody experiments in high school.
Okay.
I mean, come on. But number 3 was just like Strange Rain because that song was fucking fire. Like that to me showed what Elton was going to become. It showed what Elton was going to become eventually. Number 2 was it's Me That You Need because that is to me a classic Elton John ballad. Like that to me is a sign of what he would do eventually with other great songs. And number 1 was Sales because that was like the unexpected song of this. Like that almost reminded me of like a Styx type of song, not like an Elton John song. Which I know this is even like before Styx era, kind of, but still, like it reminded me more of like a Styx fashion than Elton John fashion, which I freaking loved. So, and thank you, Harley. Somebody else loves Elton John. Thank you. I mean, yes, and like I said earlier, none of the tracks on this album were on his top 34, 36 hits, wherever the hell it was. I mean, we did a bracket of Elton John. I don't remember. I think I'm Still Standing one, but because I mean that is still one of my top 3 songs he ever did. But
Isn't that on the Greatest Hits album?
It's got to be on there.
I don't think it is actually on the regular Graces album.
On the official.
Elton John's one of those artists who has multiple greatest hits albums, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I
think
mean,
it depends on when it was issued.
it's like Queen's greatest hits albums. Like there's literally like a 5-disc set that really is Queen's greatest hits. You can't just have like the 20th Century Masters Queen's greatest hits album because it's not all the greatest hits.
Yeah.
So
they have a couple of deep hits that everybody likes,
I mean, trust me, the Queen bracket, we haven't even done the second part yet. We did the first part. I have like
awesome.
There's like 68 songs in the Queen bracket, for God's sake. So
for sure.
we didn't even do the second part yet, and there's a lot of good songs in the second part that should have been the first part, in my opinion. But
yeah,
that's a whole nother topic. Which actually, was Queen performing 69? I don't know. I didn't check even. I should have, but
they were wrong.
I feel like they were, but
they're at least practicing in the garage, at least,
I mean, the last time I brought them on, it was their final album together, Innuendo. But, Andrew, what were your top 5 off Elton John?
So mine were Emily Sky, Sales, Western Ford, Gateway, Lady What Tomorrow, and Strange Rain.
See, Empty Sky was on my list to begin with, but then it was on the bottom, and at the end of the CD, I'm like, all right. I'm like, I don't need Empty Sky. I put it there because I was scared I wouldn't get enough. But by the time I got to the end, I had it more than enough. So I was like, fuck it. Empty Sky's getting taken off.
I mean, this record was like Chancy was saying, this is a tough record to listen to. Like, this was not an easy listen for me.
I mean, I enjoyed the shit out of it my way to work today. I can't say I would play it like twice in a row, like I do some albums and shit. Like, some albums that get brought on this show, like I'll play all day, like so I just like get the memory of the lyrics and everything else. But
yeah,
this album I couldn't do that. This album is definitely like a one-time playthrough. I heard the songs I liked and put them on my Spotify like playlist, and that's where it ends. Now, I mean, I can't say that at all for Or. There wasn't one damn song on Or that I hit the plus sign on. But
that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I mean, on Chancy's album, I definitely threw a couple on there that should have been on my list a long time ago, and I never went and did it. But Chancy, what were your top 5 Elton John songs, sir?
Number 5 for me was Sails. Number 4 was All Across the Havens.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Number 3 was Valhalla.
That was actually not bad. I like Valhalla, but it's
So
didn't make my list.
this is the funny thing about this. Okay, so Jesse picks. He picks. This is funny to me. Is you pick Led Zeppelin? They do Hobbit rock. J.R.R. Tolkien kind of stuff, and then Elton John does Viking rock.
Right.
It's hilarious.
Whoa.
It's funny.
He doesn't do real Viking rock. You want real Viking rock? Listen to Blind Guardian.
Well, I know, or Saxon or something, but it's like but Valhalla. I mean, come on. It's like that's the funniest thing ever.
There is a better song called Valhalla by Blind Guardian.
I'm sure there is, but I'm just saying it's funny that in this juxtaposition that you actually have the hobbits and the Vikings together. I mean,
he's talking about the lineup.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, I get it. I get 100%. But I mean,
I just think it's a good time.
I mean, Led Zeppelin doesn't even really do Hobbit rock, though, in my opinion. But
what the fuck? Are you drunk?
Are you okay?
No, I'm not. Thank you.
I mean, I'm just asking because that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard you say.
Whoa.
Dude, saying Led Zeppelin doesn't do Hobbit rock is like saying Cottonmouth Kings doesn't do songs about smoking weed.
I mean, if you want Hobbit rock, listen to Blind Guardian, listen to Iced Earth, listen to 1,000 other metal bands. That's real Hobbit rock. Like they actually do.
They're talking about Gollum.
I mean, I've heard full songs about every Lord of the Rings character from other bands. So I'm just saying. Just saying.
That's all great. That's all great and good, but like,
yeah, they did it.
How far? I was gonna say how far back.
Yeah, I think they're the first ones. They're
I mean, they don't predate Led Zeppelin by any fucking means, but
so then these motherfuckers walk so other people could run. I get it, but like, I'm just saying, like,
and I mean, I don't know if it predates Led Zeppelin either, but Styx did Hobbit rock shit.
Yeah, that's
Styx
later.
does not. Yeah, that's later.
That's a lot later. That's 70s.
But my number 2 was just like Strange Rain, and my number 1 was Empty Sky.
Yeah. It's got good picks, man.
Empty. I don't know. Empty Sky I didn't like enough to leave in the list. I just was scared I would have. I always put like the first song of every album on because I'm worried I'm not gonna have enough. And then eventually I was like, "Fuck it, I'm have enough."
You always have enough.
No, not always.
Oh.
Chancy has brought in albums where I had to struggle to find 5.
Really? Wow.
He's got terrible taste. You need to keep that in mind at all times.
I'm noticing.
Bass Nectar, whatever the fuck call them. They're shit.
Dude, it's Bass Nectar. Fucking, what's wrong with Bass Nectar? Fucking, it ain't bad. It's not the Prodigy. I'll admit that. It's not the Prodigy. It's not Daft Punk.
Rammstein or something like that.
Rammstein's cool too. Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
They're all wannabe Kraftwerks.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying. They're all wannabe Kraftwerks.
Okay. Okay.
I've been listening to Trans Europe Express a lot lately, Chancy. You know that.
Oh God.
That's like saying that New Order sounds like New Wave.
I don't know who New Order is, so.
Yeah. Just saying.
Hey man, you come on for a rap show. I'm in my element then. So.
Okay, so
I don't think happening, but.
So yeah, so if it was rap, it would be like, what would be the equivalent? It would be like, that'd be like saying Dre is Eminem.
I mean, Eminem would be shit without Dre, so yeah. Yeah,
It's completely
100%.
different. No, but I'm just saying it's completely different music. Like it's like
I mean, Eminem is what Dre basically. It's Dre evolved basically to like what the new era could handle. Dre wasn't gonna sing about killing himself because that's not what Dre did. That's not what rap did in the early '90s. So
yeah.
Eminem could do that because it was the 2000s and the whole emo shit was starting, so he could fucking pull that shit. But
I don't know
I
about
mean,
that.
Chancy knows my disdain for Eminem. So
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking to a juggalo about Eminem. That's like, yeah, that's I don't even know what to compare that to. I really don't.
Not only are you talking to a juggalo about Eminem, you're talking to a juggalo about Eminem, even though ICP's already given up on the beef, and they're like, whatever, it's cool.
Actually, no.
Yeah, go back, dude. Watch any interview in the past 5 years. All they do is talk about how they squashed the beef.
They squashed the beef in 2010, but there was there was recent there was recently some there's recently some tracks of them released that have some hateful words in them. So the beef is back on in full.
Oh, there's diss tracks. Look out! Oh boy.
It's been going on for 30 years and ain't ending anytime soon. I'm pretty sure, but
Well, they're all Michigan guys. That's the problem, you know.
they're all Detroit guys. They're all Detroit. It's 8 Mile versus fucking like 6 Mile. So yeah.
It's like who has the less tires on their car. Is that what we're doing?
I mean, from what I heard, the closer you get to Detroit, the worse it is. So 6 Mile is worse than 8 Mile. But
yeah.
From what I heard, but
I've been to Detroit. Yeah, I'm from Michigan originally.
Oh shit! All right.
Oh yeah. I'm from northern Michigan.
Oh, Dogman territory. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But
like Diupers.
Well, folks, we have brought you 3 albums. 2 of them amazing. One of them so-so. And we will not name names in this podcast, but y'all know. And your musers may be back on Saturday with another episode. I'm still trying to work out the details of that one. But fear not, we'll be back next Tuesday regardless with another episode for you. Hopefully. And we will be back this Saturday with the Rolling Stone Top 500 Songs Bracket Part 6.
Whoa.
So, it's a 25-part madness that we insert ourselves into for the next 12 months. So, yay!
Awesome.
Oh, it's fun shit, but it's editing it so fun. Editing it is so fun. Making choices in these fucking while I was watching notes. It's not that hard because a lot of songs that Rolling Stone puts in their top 500, I'm like, these are trash. I could name better songs than these off the top of my head. So, but coming in a year, fuck you, Rolling Stone bracket, where we name our own songs that should have been on the top 500. But until then, we want to thank Andrew for coming on because it's been one hell of a show. We enjoyed the hell out of this, and Chancy loves anybody he can talk music with in detail, and because I can't do that with names and shit with him, but on some shit. But Andrew, where can people find you? Where people can find your band? Where can they find everything about you?
So yeah, you can check everything out. It's Andrew Cloninger at andrewcloninger.com, or if you want to check out the band, we play a lot of stuff regionally up in upstate. So you can check it out at wrencovemusic.com. So that's where we're at. And we're working on our second record, and it's called Movement, and that should be out sometime this year.
Nice.
So
you should let us know when you're fixing to put it out.
Yeah,
yep,
absolutely.
We'll bring it on.
Yeah, man. That'd be cool.
Chancy beat me to it. Yeah, you're 100% welcome to come back and promote your new album when it comes out. So
cool.
Yeah.
But and folks, that song you heard in the beginning of this episode for all my listeners, that is the one Wren Cove sack. Actually, well, I'll be on YouTube then, so it'll be a Wren Cove track of some kind. I'll pick one.
Thanks.
But
yeah,
of course, I always try to put my any musician that comes on, try to put their music on the front of the episode.
Yeah.
Gotta promote. But
very cool.
Chancy, where can they find you besides hanging out Cripple Creek in the Void?
Well, the scavenger hunt is on after we get this next show recorded. This is my name on Facebook. If you can find me, you get to name a song, and if it hasn't been, or an album, I should say, and if it hasn't been brought on the show before, I will bring it on and present it as my choice. On Instagram and TikTok, it's the Red Eye Roundtable. On X, it's Red Eye Table. And, the darkest recesses of your nightmares. It's my favorite place to be.
And yes, you can find me, of course, the Nightmare Dressed as a Daydream, on Facebook as Uncensored, Unapologetic, and Untamed Podcast Collective. You can also find us on now streaming live for an hour at a time because fuck Instagram, and X as at Juggler Bastard. And you can find me on TikTok as at Juggler Bastard Podcast. And you can find both of us on YouTube as Maniacal Music Musings for old episodes. Or you can find us streaming live on Facebook as Parent Post Network. Either or, we stream live multiple places. Come find us. And remember, fuck it, I got no outro on this one. Empty sky and all that shit. See you next time, guys.